Next, Xianxia asked about the artifact and cultivation technique that the three master and disciple Yushi had cultivate. All three told him in detail, without any concealment. Regarding the cultivation technique, Xianxia couldn't give too many suggestions and opinions, and could only let them explore and cultivate by themselves. For artifact, he is not stingy. Yushi originally had 2 void-grade artifacts, but they were all void-grade low rank. Although it could improve some combat power, they were extremely limited. Xianxia handed over his feather spirit arrow and the formation place that sealed the split cloud sea formation to Yushi. With the improvement of his strength, these 2 artifacts are already a bit useless to him. It is kind of a pity to discard it and useless to just leave it alone. Needless to say, when Saint Yuan is poured to the feather spirit arrow, and once activated, it has a strong explosive power. Unfortunately, the Saint Yuan stored in this thing can only be activated twice at most. After 2 times, you need to recharge the feather spirit arrow before it could be used again. With Xianxia's current methods, there is no need to use artifact when encountering Third Order Void Return stage, and when encountering the Void King realm, the power of the Feather Spirit Arrow is not ideal. It was given to Yushi to enhance her strength. The same is true for the formation plate that contains Split Cloud Sea formation, which is of little use to Xianxia. But if these 2 artifacts with strange effects are placed in Yuzi's hands, they can greatly enhance her strength. With these 2 artifacts close to her body, with Yushi First Order Void Return stage, it is enough to deal with the Third Order Void Return stage. Being given 2 artifacts, Yushi couldn't help herself. Although she has Chinwei in the Sword Union, and she also follows Jiuji Anshin. But how can she get such a good thing? Xianxia is generous in his moves and rich in wealth. While secretly shocking her, she was also pleasantly surprised. Xianxia did not give the artifact to the sisters of Hezao and Hemiao because the 2 sisters had just received the gift of artifacts from Chinwei. The 2 void-grade middle-rank scimitar artifacts have gradually been refined in the period of time and figured out the method to use it. The 2 scimitars combined into one can form a round blade, and the level of the artifact will also be comparable to the void-grade high rank, and its lethality is amazing. Things like artifacts. It's not about having as many as possible, it's about how useful it is. Xianxia handed over 2 congealing void pills to Hezao and Hemiao. Based on their current situation, they only need to accumulate for a while before they can hit the realm of void return stage. In addition, Xianxia gave the 3 master and disciple a lot of saint crystals and spirit pill for cultivation, and sent them to retreat. Next, Xianxia started to set up a space law formation here, ready to connect to the transfer station he left before. He deliberately chose the innermost palace as the location for the space law formation. Refining all kinds of materials in a familiar way, engraved formation, inject space force. Within a few days of effort, a super space law formation has taken shape. The space spirit crystal in his hand is also depleted after completing the space law formation. The number of space spirit crystals almost failed to meet the needs of the space law formation. Fortunately, Xianxia was lucky, and there was nothing wrong with his calculations, so he could finally arrange the space law formation completely. The spiritual mind was released, and the situation of the 3 Zia master and disciple was investigated. Finding that they were still cultivating in retreat, Xianxia then set the Saint Crystal into the space law formation and it was activated. After a transfer, Xianxia quickly came to the Ore Star. Among the underground ruins discovered by Xianxia before, there was a brightly lit area, and countless figures of cultivators were busy in it. Xianxia surprisingly discovered that there were not only the disciples of High Heaven Sect and Shadow Moon Palace, but also people from Clean Sky Sect and Colored Glass Sect, as well as many cultivators from the sects that has connection with High Heaven Sect. It seems that Yi Xian and others are standing here, so they let the cultivators of other sects come to mine. Sect Master Yang. While Xianxia was observing, a suspicious call came from not far away. Xianxia turned his head and looked around and found that the person was actually Mo Yu of Clean Sky Sect. Senior Mo, Xianxia greeted with a smile. It really is Sect Master Yang. Moyu was overjoyed and hurried over. I thought I had seen the wrong person. I didn't expect it to be you, Sect Master Yang. Where did you come from? Azure Tree Star. Yang Kai replied casually. Sect Master Yang. Moyu had an admiring expression. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid that I would always be trapped in the same place as the Shadowed Star Cultivator. I didn't expect to be able to teleport on various stars at will now. I'm afraid that in the star territory, no one can achieve it except for the cultivators of the Shadowed Star, right? Haha, Yang Kai laughed without denying it. The fact is true. There is no other space law formation based on his space force, and it cannot support ultra-long-distance teleportation. There may be few super space law formation in this star territory, but it is something left over from ancient times, far from the stability and security that Yang Kai personally arranged. No one dared to use those space law formation when it was not a last resort. Sect Master Yang came here this time. Are you looking for Great Elder Yi? Moyu asked again. Yes, where is the Great Elder? Come, I'll take you there. Moyu hurriedly led the way. The Shadowed Star, because of the rise of the High Heaven sect, countless sects and families have been blessed by it. Not to mention the last time the corpse spirit religion was rampaging, it was the High Heaven sect and the Shadow Moon Palace that turned the tide. It is said that this time, because of the relationship of Clean Sky sect with the High Heaven sect, they can get the opportunity to mine rare minerals in the Ore Star. Moyu and Yang Kai had a close friendship, so they were naturally very enthusiastic at the moment. Soon, Yang Kai saw Yixian and Qiantong, who were sitting somewhere in the ruins. After learning that he has now come to a cultivation star called Azure Tree Star, and that he already has his own territory, everyone is extremely excited. This means that the cultivator who has reached the limit on the Shadowed Star can finally get rid of the shackles of the world's law and try to sense the mystery of the Void King realm. Especially for Yixian, she has been waiting for this day for a long time. When does the Great Elder want to leave? Yang Kai looked at Yixian and asked. What surprised Yang Kai was that Yixian actually shook her head and said, I won't be there for now. Yang Kai was silent for a moment, and quickly reacted, because of Yang Yan? Yixian lightly opened her lips. If I really break through to the Void King realm on the Azure Tree Star, it will be difficult for me to stay in the Shadowed Star for a long time. The state of the Qiantong Palace Master is the best example. I think, after she wakes up, only then will I deal with my own affairs. That's it. Yang Kai couldn't persuade her after hearing this. Yixian paid a lot of attention for Yang Yan. The last time she had the opportunity to leave the Shadowed Star with Yang Kai, because Yang Yan was still asleep, she chose to stay and guard her. This time it's also for the same reason. That's fine. Yang Kai smiled again. Anyway, given the situation of the Great Elder, as long as the time is right, it shouldn't be too difficult to promote to the Void King realm. You overestimate me too much. Yixian laughed at herself. Since ancient times, the Void King realm has always been the highest realm of cultivator. Numerous Void Return stagers stuck at this juncture. I can't understand the mystery in my life, and I have no complete assurance. Yang Kai smiled, knowing that Yixian was being humble. If Yixian wasn't completely sure before, then Yixian, who is now constantly absorbing the energy of the domain stone and feeling the mystery of the domain, she has at least 80% hope that she can successfully break through to the Void King realm. Anyway, when I come back this time, I want to tell you the news. Yang Kai turned his head and looked around. As for when you will go to Azure Tree Star, you can just think about it yourself. Don't worry about this. When the time comes, the Great Elder and Brother Mo will definitely organize a group of people to the Azure Tree Star. Qiantong laughed aside. Such a good opportunity, there is no reason not to do it. Even if you are promoted to the Void King realm, it doesn't matter that you can't stay in the Shadowed Star for a long time. Anyway, as long as there is a space law formation, we can return at any time. There will be no accident in the Shadowed Star. Well, when you get there, someone will welcome you. Yang Kai nodded. By the way, you have been mining here for so long, have you found an space spirit crystal mineral vein? No. Qian Tong shook his head and said, the old man, the great elder and brother Mo also go out from time to time to search for the location of those veins. Although this ore star is extremely rich, we cannot find a space spirit crystal mineral vein. Yang Kai didn't have much expectation, and the matter of space spirit crystal was just a casual question, and now he got a negative answer, so he was not disappointed. He did not stay on the ore star for a long time, and after some explanations, he once again passed through the space law formation and returned to the palace on the azure tree star. This time, it only took him half a day, so when he returned, the three Yushi master and disciple were still cultivating in retreat. The rest of the day goes on without surprises. Zhu Liang brought a few elders from Double Shark Island to pay a visit, mainly because they were familiar with each other, but it was nothing serious. After all, Double Shark Island is already Yang Kai's territory in name. They have to rely on Yang Kai to survive in the future. How can they be negligent? Yang Kai didn't pay much attention to a few first-order void return stage, and after a little hospitality, he sent them away. He is waiting for news from the Sword Union, and believes that the Sword Union is a big power and will surely collect some space spirit crystal for him. As long as there is a space spirit crystal, Yang Kai can set off again and spread the super space law formation over the entire star territory. When the time comes, the cultivators of the shadowed star can go wherever they want. Distance will never be the barrier of the shadowed star cultivator traveling in the star territory. Especially Tongxuan continent. Yang Kai is eager to connect shadowed star with his homeland. Unfortunately, there has been no news from the Sword Union. It wasn't until a certain day 2 months later that Yang Kai, who was cultivating, received a report from Yushi, the Sword Union people is here. Yang Kai was greatly excited, got up quickly, went to meet them, secretly expecting how many space spirit crystals he could get this time. He thought that Luolan would send someone to hand over the space spirit crystals with him casually, but what he never expected was that the person who came was actually Luolan herself. To be continued.